we have then this story. And here's the thing I want you to think about. And I'm about to wrap this up real quick. Amen. Whenever you read the Gospels is a story, it's a narrative. Okay, the simplest way is 3 points to a narrative, right? The beginning, the middle, and the end. Amen. Okay, all right. But then I go to the 5 points. There's a beginning, then there's a conflict or tension, then there's a climax or a turning point, then there's unfolding events that's leading to a conclusion, and this is how you discern the plot. But as I talk about this story, how does your story line up with this story? Because your story had a beginning. You ain't got to tell me. I ain't got to be a flower. Well, I know you've had some tension and some conflict along your journey. That's a part of your story. But have you ever really stopped and think about there was a climax when you thought you was in trouble, when you thought you couldn't find your way out? There was a turning point, a climax where the events began to change, and then some other events happened, unfolded something that gave you a conclusion, and all God was trying to say, do you get the point of your story?
Amen. Amen.
Oh, watch this. I'm just going to cut to the chase. In other words, have you discerned in your story that you are actually a miracle in the midst of a scandal?
Come on.
That you are a living miracle that God has worked in your life through all that you've been through and all that you had to come out of and all that he had to heal you from. He had to give you new fight and new vision to keep you going because there were some things that happened that tried to trap you and to keep you from moving forward into your destiny. Amen. So here in Luke, we have here this angel is sent from God. Angelos. My wife's name is Angelos. Angel. Amen. The messenger of God. He's sent from God to the city of Galilee named Nazareth to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph in the house of David. Amen. And the virgin name was Mary. Right here from the get-go, it's interesting because he could have sent the angel to anybody, but he decided and elected to send it to Mary.
All right.
Watch this. And this is what I want. Y'all always hear me preach. It's not how you start. It's all about how you finish.
Yeah.
Amen. It's not about where you are. It's about where you're going. Yeah. Amen. And too many people get stuck on where they are. They still hanging out in their past and not understanding that God has forgiven you. He has healed you, and he's trying to move you forward into your destiny. But you have to be able to receive it. But then you was like, say, well, who am I? Well, you are a lot to God. You're important to him. That's why he's trying to speak to you right where you are.
Amen.
Watch it. So he sends an angel. See, this ain't messed you up, but it messes up. He sent an angel to this insignificant place. Nazareth was one of the smallest towns in Judah, but this is where he sent him. Watch this. So, and then he identifies that she was betrothed to Joseph, who was of the house of David. So that Joseph was from Bethlehem. But under God's divine providence, he ended up in Nazareth, and he just happened to choose this man to be the one that would be her husband, and it wasn't by happenstance.
Come on.
Watch it. So look how the story is giving us these characters, setting up these scenes, and then one of the characters I always forget to tell us. We got to see who's the narrator in the story, and what is his intent for telling the story. So he gives us the scene, he tells us these characters, and he's about to set us up to let us know something's about to happen. Amen. And so it does not matter where you're from, no matter whether you're from the East Coast, West Coast, whether you're from Texas or you're from the Midwest, no matter where, God he's not limited to time because he's omnipresent. Amen. And when God is trying to work a miracle, he works wherever. Let me back up. Let me swear. He does extraordinary things in obscure places.
Yeah.
Amen. Sweet Canaan is a miracle. Amen. Here we are in the middle of the country, and we're about to celebrate 149 years of existence. The people started this church who came out of slavery. Amen. They had nothing. They didn't have the jobs we have. They didn't have the cars we have. And they built something that has lasted how many generations? Generations, about 40 years. 3, 4, going on 4 generations. And we're still here. It's a miracle. Amen. Because there were all kinds of economic forces, all other kind of forces trying to shut the doors down. It had been burned down 2 times, but the Lord said, no, there's a purpose here. And so he wanted to build it back up. This is interesting because I want to share this, right? Now, Dr. Augustus Strong, in his book, Systematic Theology, he defined a miracle a little bit different. Amen. Look what Dr. Strong says. He says, watch this, and I quote. He says, in his book, he defines it as an event palpable to the senses, produced for a religious purpose by the immediate agency of God. An event, therefore, which, though not contravening any law of nature, the laws of nature, is fully known, would not, without the agency of God, be competent to explain. I know that was a lot of big words. Watch it. So basically he's just saying, he says, look. He says a miracle is something that everybody can relate to. All right. It's something that you can relate to because you can see it with your own eyes. He said you can see and know that it's a miracle, and it feeds your mind because you're like, wait a minute, I know I just saw this. Did this really happen? Maybe you have you had one of the moments? Did this just happen? Did it just happen this way? He says, yes. And he says, but what it is, he said, it's not contravening any laws of nature. He's not breaking any laws of nature.